we're getting down to it. So, we are doing chapter Matthew 17, verses 22 to 23. As you can see, I am actually wearing, because at the end of this week, we are doing our Christ Challenge, where I'm going to not only attempt to walk the same mileage as Jesus did when he was on his way to make the greatest sacrifice for us. I'm going to attempt to do it with my good friend Boone. You heard of Boone on here. If you haven't, you'll see that she did a verse of the day a while back. So I'll be doing that, and I will do my face reveal at that. I am so excited for you guys to see it, and I would love to see you guys out doing this challenge too. This is a great thing. I will be doing it with weights. Of course, I will not be doing it with the same weight as Jesus, because he carried a sin much higher, or no, he carried the sin that I could not carry, which he carried the cross, which was 300 pounds. I can hardly lift 100 in the gym, so I'll be carrying a casual 25. So I would love to see you guys out doing it and joining me. Texting in the chat, hey, we're out here doing it with you. I would love that. Excuse me. Please join me if you want to. Would love to hear it. But I'm actually wearing right now my little Minotaur hat. He's got a little nose ring. So yeah, I will be wearing my little Minotaur hat when we do this challenge. Yeah, this is my little Minotaur. Because I am a big fan of Greek myths, and I really like cows too. So the Minotaur is an animal that I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The reason I chose the Minotaur is because he reminds me of the Old Testament and of what happens. If you read the Greek myth, if you go back, I might go review this one day of why, because when I go back and I read about the myth of the Minotaur is that, basically in short summary, humans make a god angry, so they test a god, and then there is repercussion, and the repercussion is the Minotaur. So that's it, but it's the Greek myths version of it. The Greeks, that reminds me of the Old Testament. Now, of course, I would never say that the Greeks are better than anything. That would be blasphemy, and also I don't believe that there's the Greek gods or anything. But I do have a couple theories on which I might turn into a series on Twitch, is a couple theories I have on the Greek gods. Because some things you read about in Greek mythology just don't make sense. So, yeah. A couple announcements that we just did. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump into our verse of the day. And then tomorrow, after a big day I have tomorrow, holy crap. But we always make time for God. So, tomorrow, I will read chapter 19 to 20 of John. We haven't done much of John. I think we only did chapter 3, verses 14. Very short one. I think it's the only one that we've done. But I think we're going to start reading John. Let me check real quick, hold on. Yeah, tomorrow we'll do that. And we'll start getting into more chapter readings, so, yeah, there'll be more chapter readings, the upcoming week, because we're jumping into the events that made this week, because this is my favorite quote about this week, a lot can happen in a week, because a lot did happen in a week. So, I'd love to hear what you guys are doing for Easter, too. Love to hear it. Oh, people always do such great things on Easter. Okay, let's get into our verse. So this is Matthew's take on, his second take on Jesus foretelling his death. As they were gathering in Galilee, Jesus said to them, "The Son of Man is about to be delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him, and he will be raised on the third day." And they were greatly distressed. So, of course, now again, it's like that whole thing, like, you're hearing this, but you're not comprehending it. And I understand the disciples not wanting to understand it. I wouldn't want to understand it too, because this great teacher, this person that I love so much, is saying, I'm going to die. I am going to die, and in 3 days I will rise. That's a lot to comprehend. And especially, this is like the shortest verse sometimes, is Jesus foretelling his death is the shortest verse. He says it in a few sentences. Like, it's like he doesn't even seem freaked out about it. At least to his disciples he does. So, and one thing that we always have to remember, and this is like something I always try to tell people who aren't Christians, he was human too. He was human too. He felt human emotions. That's one of the greatest things about our God, is that he came down to earth to be like us. But he didn't sin like us. No, he didn't fall for it. But he cried. He laughed. He smiled. And when he lost a friend, he felt that sorrow of losing them. So, in this, I can only imagine what Jesus in this moment is thinking. Is, in this moment, he's keeping a straight face, I'm sure, for his disciples, and telling them, okay, this is what's going to happen, you need to be ready. Well, in his own time, he might be freaking out. Again, we only read what's been recorded. This is a history book. Kind of. I'm going to take that back. Kinda is a history book. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. We only read what's recorded. So many other events, and John does end with, where is it? It's like my favorite way that John ends it. Alright, John, where are you? No, I don't want to ask. John is only like 25. Verse 25. I'm running out of battery. I think it's, chapter 21, verse 25, I think. Now, there are also many other things that Jesus did. Were every one of them to be written, I suppose that the world itself could not contain the book that would be written. I love that verse. I love it. And I like that John puts it in his chapter. I don't think anybody else did. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Because we only read what's been recorded, while John says many things happen, but we don't put that because it would be, our book might be like a freaking that much longer, or it might be, it would never finish. They would have never finished it. So, that's something that always gets me going. Sorry. Now I'm rambling and spiraling, but the foretellings of the resurrection, I imagine, were hard for them to write. And they didn't understand them. They didn't know why he was saying these things, and they were probably scary. But it was preparation. And sometimes, and just like when he says, you're keeping your mind on the man's world, not God's things. I forget exactly how he says that. But sometimes we keep our eyes on, and the foretellings of death is a good way to remember of keeping your mind on things that God has coming towards you, not man's. Because yeah, it's going to be hard, it's going to suck, it's going to be terrible sometimes, but it's also going to be good. In 3 days, he rose from the dead. Those 3 days were hard, but at the end of it, he rose from the dead. So, whenever you're having a rough time or your spiritual life just feels terrible, remember Jesus' resurrection and him talking to his disciples. I encourage you to do that. Alright, that's all I got for you today. Tomorrow we go over John chapter 19 to 20. It might be... I will check again. I'll check again in a moment. I'm running out of battery. I'm like at 5% right now. But that's all I got for you guys right now. I hope you are enjoying this little series. I love doing it with you guys. And I hope you guys will join me on the Christ Challenge. This has been such a joy, guys. You have no idea how much I've enjoyed this. Alright, my dear friends. Cherry, my dear friends, God bless. And if you are doing Lent, you only have a week left, maybe even less. You're almost there. Keep pushing, please. We're almost done. Alright, Cherry, my dear friends. Good night wherever you are. God bless.